Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Jordana, and I got Calliope with me. We're hosting a new show, and it's called A Trip to Venus. So let me take a moment and introduce myself and my co-host here. Super
Hi.
happy to be here talking with you guys about stuff that we're interested in. I'm gonna let Calliope introduce herself a little bit and tell you a little bit about her, and then I'll tell you a little bit about myself as well.
What's up? My name is Calliope Willow. I am here. I'm going to be co-hosting a trip to Venus. And we're really just going to be vibing. Two besties vibing. You're going to get some information, a little bit of tea there, some hot takes, and some vibes. A whole lot of vibes. Whole lot of vibes. I am an astrologer. I have been studying for a very long time. I also read tarot cards. I've been reading tarot for about 5 years now. So I got all that knowledge up there for you too, if you want it. I get into the plant medicine. So yeah, those are vibes over here.
We definitely do tap into the plant medicine vibe. That's part of the trip. And the Venus is basically who me and Calliope are. We have a lot of Venusian energy within our moon signs. We have the same moon sign. And
Taurus gang.
yep, gang, gang. For anybody that is familiar and has their moon sign in Taurus as well, gang, gang. Um,
This is your
so,
this is your crowd right here,
yes,
baby. Come
right
on
here.
in.
First, I just want to also talk about how me and Calliope know each other. We met back in 2018 through a mutual friend of ours. And the first time we met was a mushroom journey. So it's something that is near and dear to our hearts and something that we want to cultivate a safe space for other people to learn and grow through plant medicine, and not just mushrooms, but different herbs and methods of healing. So that's something that is really important to us and something that we are going to be sharing on the show as well. So it was a pretty interesting first meet for us. I think that at the time, like, we had both not really been super into plant medicine, like where we were doing ceremonies. So it was a first for us, and it was a
It
ceremony
was
with
cool.
yeah, like three other women. And yeah, it was just really
It was
cool.
definitely a vibe, y'all. Like it was really ceremonial,
Mhm.
very healing, very spiritual. I mean, from like the way she played music and the way she sang, like she was a very I don't even know how to describe her voice, but I opera. It was
Yeah,
giving opera, but
and
it was
chanting.
so chanting and opera.
Mhm.
And then she was doing Reiki, the cats was walking around,
Yeah.
cats are everything was just like
Lined
even
up,
the
like, we were
lined
definitely
up
in alignment to meet each
in
other that
alignment.
night and really,
And we were
like,
really having like telepathic moments, like
yeah. There was
you
a
see
moment
me.
where we caught each other's eye, and we were like, "Are we talking to each other in our minds? Like, do you hear me right now? I hear you." Like, it was
Definitely.
just really funny, and then we laughed about it, like
I remember what it was too, is because like you had said something. I think you were like, get your girl. And I was like, exactly. Like I said it. I was like, yeah,
yeah, one of the
exactly.
other
So
girls was
yeah,
having a little intense
you
moment.
heard. It was intense. It was intense. She needed to ground a little bit.
Yeah,
But
so
that's what it was. Like, yeah,
that
we were
moment.
on the same wave, and like we had already been communicating mentally. And then she said something out loud. I was like, yeah, that was that
And it
that
was really
happened.
cool too, like, later on, we had done, like, a past life regression for us together and realized that we had past lives together, and that was our beacon moment where we needed each other, and we found each other,
We
and
found each other
here we
like
are. So it's been
locked in.
it's been vibes ever since. So we came up with the idea for this show because we wanted to share our astrology takes and our experiences with plant medicine, and kind of introduce other people to the things that we like to do and the things that we know, like, bring people together and, help us learn about ourselves, so that we can be the best version of ourselves. And that happens a lot through gaining knowledge through astrology and doing the healing through plant medicine. So that's what we're here to talk about, and anything that is involved with it as well, and encompassing healing and just knowledge of self. So we're excited to talk to you a little bit about that as well.
Yes, yes. Definitely knowledge of self. I think that's one thing. that has made it possible for our friendship to be so strong and be as healthy as it has been is because we're both very self-aware and we do help each other stay accountable. We do give each other healthy advice. We give each other the space. We respect each other's boundaries. And like there's genuine love and care between us. And so this is also a space where you could come if you really want to just see what friendship looks like because a lot of people don't
Sisterhood.
have that sisterhood. Thank you, sisterhood. A lot of women are seeking that. So this is a good example of it right here. You
Yeah.
could come and be a part of our sisterhood. Come
Yeah.
join. Come vibe
Join
with
with us.
us.
Girls,
Come take a trip to Venus. You
come take
know.
a trip to Venus. So another cool thing about the timing of this show is the new moon that's coming up. So it's like one
Hmm.
of the pivotal points of the lunar cycle is the full moon and the new moon. So we really like to talk about those specifically. Like the other moon phases are very important, but the new moon and the full moon are the most pivotal. It's for manifesting or releasing. And um, on new moon, you're manifesting. And this one is through Aquarius. So the Aquarius new moon is February 9th. This will probably air after February 9th. But you get the energy from the new moon 3 days before and about 3 days after. So if there's any work that you want to do or, write your list of manifestations, a letter or declaration to your future self, because these manifestations will come back around in 6 months from now during the Aquarius full moon. So whatever's happening right now in your life, what you're choosing to give your attention to, what you're manifesting and what you're thinking about is indicative to what's going to be going on in the next 6 months. So that's something to think about as well. And some of the signs that will be most affected are Taurus, Leo, and this is your sun, moon, and rising. Also
Yes.
Aquarius, and I think there's one more. Is it Scorpio? Do you remember?
Scorpio. And yes, these that does apply to your sun, moon, and rising. But I do want to just go further with that because where it's going to be most it will resonate most by your rising sign. So definitely want to look by your rising sign to see how this moon would affect you the most. And also, I wanted to tell you guys, Jordana, she said during the Aquarius full moon, that's Leo season, by the way. That happens during Leo season. So in summertime, you can plant these seeds now and look towards the summer for some things to blossom for you. And also, there is a couple of other things too, some energies that you may be seeing. I took a couple notes when I was doing some reading. Um, now you may witness like the conversations getting deeper, things coming up that were hidden under the surface. Things are going to be resurfacing, and it could be kind of a triggering time. This past week could have been a little triggering for some. Some deep stuff may have came up, and you thought you had gotten past it. You thought you were going to be able to push it to the back, but with Pluto and Mercury coming together and causing forming a conjunction, yeah, things are coming back up and you're going to be able to see things differently too. So look
I
out for
definitely
that
experienced
energy.
that this week a little bit, so I can relate to
Oh,
that. There's always something that will come back up
same,
that's supposed to be
sis.
worked through, and you think you got it all in control, and then you're like, "Hold up, like what am
Maybe
I
not.
talking about?" And I find myself like waiting now to have conversations. I'm like, you know what? Let me wait until the moon is in Pisces because the conversation is going to go a little bit more
It's going
empathetic
to
and
flow better.
understanding rather than
Yeah.
Aquarius, which is more detached and unemotional and like having important
Stoic.
conversations during a Aquarius moon probably isn't the best time to have conversations that are supposed to be deep and meaningful because they're going to be more analytical or very just detached from emotion, which isn't
Yeah.
sometimes helpful in some situations. So I find myself waiting sometimes to have conversations and learning just to be patient and still in the energy and let things kind of just flow through and feel them and let them pass, because a lot of the times it's just a feeling that you
Harsh.
have that you need to work through, that you need to address, or something that came back up that you work through within yourself. And that's part of why astrology is so awesome, because it helps you learn yourself and recognize your triggers and things that come up that, you thought that you had healed from that may need an extra look. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like everyone goes through something at some point where they thought that they had it under control and maybe, it comes up and it's a trigger. So we like to look at those
I'm not
things
quite there
and it's
yet.
helpful. It's especially the moon and women and our emotions. And it's not that like we don't have control over them. It's just a lot of people don't recognize that they're affected as much as they are. So maybe
Right.
sometimes when you look into astronomy and astrology and look to like what the energy is of the celestial bodies that are present, you can understand where your emotions lie at that time too.
Cheat codes.
Cheat codes.
Cheat codes. Definitely the cheat codes.
Yes.
You know what else I thought was interesting too? We are starting this is our first episode that will be airing.
Yes.
And we're working on this during the new moon. We're in this new moon energy and it's in Aquarius. And we are reaching out to a community. We are forming a community here. So this is our start too.
Oh yeah.
We're sprinkling something right now too.
Sprinkle,
So
sprinkle.
come right. And that's
Sprinkle,
not on
sprinkle.
that. So come Leo season, y'all gonna want to be around.
Right. I can't wait to see where this is in 6 months from now, after we've done a few episodes and, got people like interested more in learning astrology, because Calliope got me more interested in astrology. You know who I went to when I was pulling charts on motherfuckers I was dating and stuff like that? Oh, Calliope. What does this mean?
Like, let me see that chart.
Is he decent? Now you know what to look for, because you pull him up, pull the chart.
It up. Pulling it up immediately.
Do you know your birth time?
Do you know the time? I need to know that. That's another thing, you guys. If you don't know it, please try to get that. Get your hands on that. I know for some people you don't have access. You can always try and contact the hospital you were born at. That is a task. It is a chore. It's very tedious.
But you won't know your rising sign without the exact time, and your rising sign is the ruler of your chart. So it is important, and it creates a house system as well if you're doing tropical. And so it's important.
And you want to know the house systems, because you want to know what planets go to which houses to have a good time and whose houses they're very uncomfortable in. You want to know that. Like that's
to help you read the energy and your own experiences and how you react or respond to certain things as well. It's very telling. Okay. It's very important. So if you are interested in pulling your natal chart, if you don't have your time, you can still pull it. It'll be limited information, but it's important to get that time also.
Get that time. Get that time. I know in like other countries too, they don't always put the time on birth certificates. So
sometimes they don't even like record the time, so they don't
have
it.
It's not recorded.
America is pretty detailed. I'm sure Europe is like that too, and a lot of other countries, but there are some that aren't.
Yes.
Can you break down the rising and like the housing systems and things like that with astrology? Like, what does the rising sign mean? Like, what does it entail?
So your rising sign, it's going to be kind of the energy that you're giving off when people first meet you. Like, it's probably the sign that people were like, oh, are you a this? And like, no, well, that's my rising. But not only that, it goes a lot deeper than that. It's also kind of going to tell you like the theme of your life, like the theme of your birth chart. Like, for instance, my rising is in Sagittarius. So I have a lot of Sagittarian themes, like wiseness is a huge theme, and gaining knowledge and experiences. That's something that I'm supposed to be doing, and sharing my experiences, teaching, the spiritual teacher. Even my not my birth number, my life path number, it resonates, which is a 33, by the way. So
what? Master 33.
Whoop, 33.6 over here. Yes. So that's your rising sign. It's going to really tell you a lot, like what themes, and it's also where your birth chart starts too. It's where it begins. So that's important as well, where your story begins. and you kind of take that energy with you all throughout your life. Also, they say, like, so for instance, a Sagittarius sun, that energy they try to embody, whereas a Sagittarius rising, they just have it. Like, it's just there. It's
Yeah.
just there. So
They
that's a little
embody it
bit,
naturally. There is no
yeah.
trying.
There's no trying. You just get it, and it's raw in the rawest form. Um, and then when you get into your house system, I wish I had like something to show. Like, oh, and this is it. I don't have anything right now. Next time I will.
So when we say the rising, the sign that's in the rising that's what the star system that is in the horizon at the time of your birth, correct?
Yes, correct.
And what do the houses mean? Like the housing, like, because I know people don't understand how it took me a while to understand the housing
To
system and
understand
like
your
what it
housing,
meant, because like each house is ruled by a
the
star
sign.
system or
Yep,
a sign,
every
so
house.
like a zodiac sign.
So it's kind of set up exactly like a clock. All 12 houses. It's split up just like a clock, and it literally goes from Aries, Taurus, to Gemini, to Cancer, to
All the
all
way
through
through.
it. Leo, yeah, it goes all the way through and ending at Pisces in the 12th house. And so when every house is a different theme too. So for instance, the Aries house is going to be a very personal house. It's going to be a lot about your appearance, your personality, like you, a lot of things that happen to you. It's also like the very beginning of your life too. So like when you're a child, you can see a lot of things that may have happened, and it'll be in the first house where Aries is, because it's the beginning of your life. So, and then you move on to your second house, and your second house is ruled by Taurus. Taurus is going to give a lot of themes of like money, basically. So you can see a lot of
Material gain.
inheritances, yeah, like material gains, values, things like that would be in your second house. And you get into your third, which is Gemini. And so then you would get into communication, siblings even would be found in your third house. So every house is ruled by a sign, and you're really going to look at what are those signs in alignment with, like what themes go with these signs. Also the planets too, like that's one thing. If you are interested in astrology, probably the first thing you want to do is study your planets. That's going to help you understand so much more. Before you even get into the signs, I would say start with the planets.
And there's so many layers. Like, don't get
There's so
discouraged
many
because there's
layers.
so much to learn. And then, like, not only that, like, we have different types of astrology based on different regions in the world. Like, there's going to be, you know, they
Vedic,
have sidereal and
sidereal.
Vedic astrology in India and in the eastern part of the world. So it's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
little bit different, and they are different.
It is very
Their sign
different.
placements are different. So like you
Yeah,
might be
there's
something in
Egyptian
tropical
astrology.
when it's different in sidereal. Like I think I'm a Virgo sun in sidereal, and in
Sidereal.
tropical I'm a Libra sun. So it's just a little bit different. But it's funny
Mm-hmm.
because even when I study Vedic in a sidereal, like I'm like, yeah, I
It's
can
the
see those
fifth.
themes in my life too. I'm like, okay, I see
Yep.
that type of energy that shows up like in different aspects of my life. So like it is fitting. It's just like
There.
how it appears and how it shows up in your reality in different situations, and that it helps you understand like how you can respond or move forward without hurting somebody's feelings, or doing something where you're going to make mistake after mistake again, and like it's just the same thing happening over and over again.
It
It
can
helps.
help you avoid mistakes
Exactly.
too. Help you avoid mistakes, and it really kind of can save you a lot of wasted energy.
Yeah,
Can
definitely.
help you save that, channel that into the correct places, because you know a lot of times people spend years and years doing the wrong thing, and if they just had like some more tools, they can overcome
Right.
that and
Like a
get right to
blueprint
where
to your
they
life.
need to be. The
And the
blueprint,
way
the
I
cheat
always looked at
codes, all of that.
astrology was, for me, when I explain like what astrology is for like people who don't have any clue, like they don't know anything about it, they think that like it's just your sun sign and you read it in the newspaper, or like it applies to everybody.
Horoscopes.
Um, Like it really doesn't, because when you look into your own, like the your astrology, like your natal chart, that round like thing that you
The
see
map.
that is hard to read, is really like the path that your consciousness took when it went from the spiritual realm into the material physical realm, and every planet and star system that it hit on the way down, picking up characteristics. All right, how are we going
It's
to
all
work through
there.
this? This is going to be in this place. This is going to be in this place. All right. And then you get to come down here and have all these experiences. So that's kind of how I explain it to people who are just kind of learning or just getting into it or curious to as to like what I'm talking about when I'm talking about astrology. That is the best way that I can explain it on a spiritual level, which is for me, like I view things from a spiritual perspective first, 99% of the time. So when people understand it from a different philosophy, then it makes it a little bit more relatable to like a belief system and not
Yeah.
just like something that is mythical.
Yeah, it's more digestible because I
Yeah,
think a lot of people are quick to write it off. Like, yeah, I don't
for
believe in
sure.
that. I'm like, well, you probably don't really know enough about it to actually say
Say
that.
that.
Don't you really don't? If you're only going off of horoscopes, which it's funny because when you look at those horoscopes, you're really supposed to be looking at your rising sign,
Rising sign.
not even your sun sign.
Sun
It should be
sign.
based on your rising sign. And then there's sometimes people be like, well, it still resonates. Well, because planets exist and house systems exist
Yep.
and all these other things exist. So yeah, there's a
That's why a
lot
lot
to
of
it.
times it's like
It's
take
deep.
what resonates and leave what doesn't, because something will apply, but it's like, okay, for this is a good example. When religious folks want a message, they just open up the Bible and they pick some, and they're like, oh,
Right.
this is what I needed to read. And it's the same way when you're looking at astrology. Like anytime you look at your chart or you look into it, like you'll find something new every single time that will apply to something that's going on in your life at that moment.
Yep. And if like even another thing, if you are going through something, look it up. Like let's say you're having financial issues. Okay, go look at Venus. Go look at Venus and see what's going on there. Go
Yeah.
look at your moon placement and see what's going on there. What's
And how it's
happening?
transiting
How
whatever's
is it
going on in the
transiting?
sky right now.
What aspects are being made? What are the relationships between planets right now? Because that will tell you kind of where you're at. I always look at my transits. I
Yeah.
think, and that's basically what a new moon is. It's a transit, guys. It's just a transit. The moon is transiting. The
Passing
moon
through.
transits a
Mhm.
lot. It goes through
Moon's
signs
going
very
through
quickly.
Aquarius right now, so we're just feeling all
It's
the
just a
Aquarius
transit.
vibes in our emotional body, which is the moon.
And then we also have Pluto too. Really close with the moon. So also it's like we have the emotions of the moon, and then we have the
Transformation of Pluto,
intensity of Pluto coming in and really kind of
shaking it up.
inflating things. So it's if you're in your feels, it's appropriate right now. You got the
Hey,
heavy water.
do you want to do like a collective new moon Aquarius reading? Do you have your cards? I think you got a little time to end it out with the card reading.
Yes, let me grab my card.
All right,
So
cool.
I do have some cards, and let's see. Let's do a little collective. This is an oracle deck too. It's one of my oldest ones. I really love this one. It's very precious to me.
Let me see. Hold it up.
Yes, ma'am. I'm like, let me get the little box. It's all beat up, y'all. So don't be. It's
Well
beat up because I
used.
be using
It's
it.
well used.
It's appreciated. It's loved
Oh, I like
on.
that one. I
Yeah,
know you've done a card
it's a
reading
good
for me
one.
on these ones. I like
Oh
these.
yeah. Anyone who's got a reading from me has most likely gotten a reading with
The
this deck.
Oracle.
This is one of the ones I will typically reach for. All right, so we're just going to get a collective pull here for anyone watching this. Timeless, please.
Aquarius. We need some like music, some
I
elevator
know.
music.
That New Blue Soul. That's what it's called.
Right? Good song.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Ooh, wow. Okay. So I have, how fitting is this? First of all, let's get into it. Let me try to get you guys to see it. Winds of change.
Change.
Okay, okay, Aquarius.
Okay, Aquarius.
Okay, Aquarius. Your
Air
surroundings
sign,
will
winds.
go. I mean, we're there, right? We're there. We're definitely there. Your surroundings will undergo transition. I think that's very beautiful because I literally wrote down the word like transition on my notes when I had took some down earlier for the new moon. So Pluto is really here, guys. Like transitioning is happening. You know, we're moving through things. So along with this new moon, it's really kind of encouraging you to allow the transitions to happen. Allow like you to let go. Truthfully, let go. Stop holding on. Stop hindrance. Bottom of the deck card.
Stop resisting.
Stop resisting. You know, allow things to shake up. Allow shit to fall apart. Because when things fall apart, it's always something else coming. Things are going to blossom much better. And it's time. It's time for shit to shake up. Yeah. I just like seeing like a huge gust of wind just knocking towers over, just knocking shit over. So there's about to be a lot of tower moments for a lot of us. And it may get uncomfortable. It may get uncomfortable.
What's a tower moment?
A tower moment is going to be a shifting moment where things crumble. Shit falls apart.
A tower falling down.
It falls down. Everything is going to fall down. But it's probably something that needed to go. A lot of these things that you're going to see fall apart are things that just weren't serving you anymore. They don't serve where you're moving to, the new communities that you're going to be stepping into. It doesn't fit there anymore.
They're going to need you in those communities to be the best version of yourself and let go of all of those bad habits, negative thought forms in your brain that keep you in a state of just like stagnation. Like it's all got to go.
Oh, I just heard release the energy of selfishness. So like if that's something that people are struggling with as a collective, we all need to do a little bit better. We all need to start spreading our resources around and seeing who we can connect with and sharing a little bit more.
Yep.
That's just what I heard. Like that selfish energy is time to go. We can't have that anymore.
Communities. You can't build communities being selfish.
Nope. And like you have to be willing to do the work. Nobody is sitting out. There's no leaders right now. Everybody is playing. Everybody's playing. So if you're not playing,
you sitting.
You're not doing that. You out. You ain't eating. You ain't playing. You ain't eating.
Everyone's got to pay to play.
That's the energy here. That's the energy we're getting, guys. Winds of change. I think that says it all. I'm not pulling anymore.
Right. That's enough.
That's very deep. For it to come out during an Aquarius new moon, winds of change. And yeah. Perfect. We are the surroundings. So this means your home. This means your city. This means your job, your surroundings, your circle, everything, your relationship. Things are changing. And do not resist it because it needs to go.
Let it flow through. Whatever needs to crash and rebuild, it will.
Allow the water bearer to pour something new onto your life.
That was perfect. Thank you for that. Appreciate your energy.
You're welcome. Yes.
So with that being
I think that was really dope for that card to pop out like that. I think that was dope.
That was perfect.
Like, oh, okay.
I'm so glad that we were able to do this and, put this out here. And I'm looking forward to doing more episodes. This is really fun.
Yes. And we will add our social medias on here so y'all can, tap in with us there. We're both pretty active and,
And you can always find us on Ethos Media Network. We're going to be on YouTube, and I believe that it might be on Patreon too. I'm not for sure. I think those details will be worked out in the next couple of weeks or so. So
I think
hit us
we'll be
up.
doing a little more of the readings over there on that side, on Patreon side too.
Oh,
So
good.
if you guys want to tap in more like that, you know. And Jordana, you gonna get on here too.
I know, I got my cards too. I'm letting you shine today.
You gonna get on here too.
Because you know, your
Mhm.
expertise in this is a little more it's a little bit more than mine. So I like to see you in your element
I
as well.
think we both we both got it. We got the knowledge. It's there. It's deep.
Yeah.
And that's why this is a trip to Venus.
Yep. Trip to Venus.
And that's why. Peace.